In Asia, farmers raise chickens in a free-range system on hillsides 800 to 1500 meters above sea level. With this model, chickens are allowed to roam freely, foraging on the hills and mountains, and are supplemented with about 20% of their diet from cord, vegetables, and other feed. As a result, these chickens have strong immune systems, and the incidence of avian flu in February is much lower compared to other farming methods. Although their egg production is only around 100 to 120 eggs per year, these eggs are highly sought after due to their superior taste and higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamins compared to eggs of caged chickens. Raising chickens under trees provides a double benefit. Farmers will not only harvest high-quality eggs, but also the chicken manure provides nutrients to the trees on the hillside, causing them to grow twice as fast as usual. Additionally, people have also come up with a creative way of raising chickens in mountain caves. Instead of constructing shelters for the chickens, they dig out appropriately sized holes in the mountainside to serve as nesting and laying areas. This model allows farmers to harvest eggs more easily, as the chickens will lay their eggs directly in the holes, eliminating the need to spend time collecting eggs throughout the hills, as in the free-range chicken model I mentioned earlier. However, due to limited area available for digging holes, farmers typically only raise small flocks of less than 200 chickens. Cage-free chicken farming on pastures is becoming increasingly popular worldwide. This is another farming model in Australia where farmers strive to create the most natural living conditions for chickens. The chickens lay eggs inside the mobile coop and are then collected manually like this. The scale of these chicken farms can reach up to 300 hectares, so live camera systems are required. During the day, the chickens are allowed to roam freely. Farmers have built automated systems to provide them with food and water, but they can also freely forage in the vast pastures. Mobile chicken coops are designed to be moved anywhere in the pasture, ensuring the chickens are always on fresh grass and not affected by bacteria from their droppings. Additionally, this allows grass cover to regenerate, preventing excessive eating or destruction from the chickens. Adult hens lay an average of 180 to 220 eggs each year. The quality of eggs from free-range chickens is higher. This is a more humane farming method that over 70% of Australians prefer for their eggs. In Europe, over the past 20 years, the production of eggs from this model has increased from 10% to over 50%. In the US, in the past 10 years, the consumption of free-range eggs has increased from 4 to over 30% and is expected to surpass 50% by 2025. Iowa was the state with the highest number of laying hens in 2023. Fresh eggs, after being collected, are transported to factories for processing. First, they are washed and cleaned with water jets before being dried. Next, the workers sort them by size and remove any damaged eggs. They continue to be disinfected with ultraviolet rays. Then, a machine will sort the eggs and place them in pre-prepared boxes. The eggs are then packaged and distributed for consumption. Well-known brands such as Oreo, LU biscuits, and Cadbury Dairy Milk Chocolate are using 100% cage-free eggs for their products in the US, Canada, and Europe. In addition to fresh eggs, liquid eggs are also very popular. Fresh eggs, when arriving at the factory, will be washed and then put into a scanner to check the quality. A specialized machine will then separate the yolks and whites of the eggs. This amount of eggs is put into tanks, where the yolks are beaten until smooth and then continue to be sterilized. Then they are poured into bags. Workers label them, pack boxes, and distribute them for consumption. This is the lion-headed geese, the largest geese in the world. An adult lion-headed goose can weigh from 35 to 47 pounds, with a maximum weight of up to 65 pounds. They have good resistance to diseases, but if they fall ill, they can be quickly cured with medicine and vaccines. Although they thrive on grass, lion-headed geese require a water environment for mating and bathing. They begin laying eggs at around 6 months of age and typically lay one egg every 2 days. Lion-headed goose eggs weigh 160 to 180 grams and are highly sought after as they are believed to be highly nutritious for pregnant women. The egg production of this goose species is only 30 to 50 eggs a year, but each egg is 20 times more expensive than a duck egg. They are often sold for around $2 per egg at the farm and $4 at stores. China is currently the world leader in lion-headed goose farming, with over 90% of the market share. This is the only ethical goose farm in the world that raises geese for foie gras, meaning fatty livers. The diet changes when the geese reach 10 to 12 weeks old to begin the fattening process. The flock is raised freely, roaming in a garden all the time, fed with natural foods like acorns and corn, and encouraged to move around a lot. Traditionally, this fattening process is done by pumping a fatty diet directly into their stomachs like this 2 to 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Hence, although foie gras is an expensive food, it's a controversial delicacy. Steak is tasty, but have you ever tried buffalo meat from the 3rd largest exporter? Sweet and chewy, with 41% less cholesterol compared to beef, smoked buffalo is one of the most popular and expensive snacks in rural China. Today, we will explore the production of both buffalo meat and beef in rural China to see what sets it apart. Chinese buffalo are of a swamp variety and are mainly distributed in the countryside of 18 provinces in southern China. Farmers raise buffalo in small, often family-run herds. They say the best direction for the barn is to face south or southeast. At birth, buffalo calves typically weigh around 66 pounds. In their first few months, the primary nutrition comes from their mother's milk, just like calves raised in the US. Once they reach around 7 months old, the calves transition to a diet of roughage, including grass and hay. They are often allowed to roam vast pastures, where they can consume 40 to 50 pounds of grass daily. By 18 months of age, a well-raised calf can weigh between 880 to 1100 pounds, with a daily weight gain of around 1.7 pounds. Farmers also focus on hygiene, bathing or washing their buffaloes daily in summer, and once a week in the winter to ensure they stay clean and free of skin disease. 1-year-old male calves are castrated to prepare for the fattening process when they turn 2. Buffaloes at this age already have strong teeth, so their ability to chew food is better. This helps in increasing body weight by 15 to 20%. Similar to cattle, buffaloes are also vaccinated against common diseases such as anthrax and tuberculosis. The fattening period lasts around 3 months. In the first and second months, farmers clean the barn, deworm, and feed the buffalo. Unlike the confined feedlots often seen in the US, buffaloes in rural China continue to graze on pastures during fattening, supplemented with concentrated feeds such as rice straw, corn, and silage. In the 3rd month, farmers add starchy foods to the buffalo's diet and let them eat close together to limit energy consumption and increase fat accumulation. During this period, buffaloes will gain between 1.1 and 2.2 pounds daily. In regions like Guilin, there is an estimated 160 acres of developed agricultural land, and farmers take advantage of the rainy season from May until October for grazing. They also rotate their animals to different pastures, ensuring the grasslands aren't overused. This method reduces feed costs and maximizes growth, allowing buffaloes to reach a target weight of between 1,540 to 1,760 pounds in just 3 months. Buffaloes are often sold at local livestock markets, where farmers bring their animals to be auctioned or sold directly to buyers. These markets are usually held weekly or bi-weekly. Slaughterhouses in rural China typically process 2 to 3 buffalo a day. A single buffalo can yield a large amount of meat, so a small-scale facility requires more than 20 people in order to handle the various tasks. These women are cutting the large chunks of meat into smaller pieces and removing tough tendons. They do this before and after the tendons have been removed. This red meat will be marinated with spices and skewered onto metal rods. Then, these meat rods are hung on a drying rack over a low heat source, such as a charcoal grill or a wood-burning stove, for several hours. Once the meat is completely dry, it is firm and chewy, and is stored in an airtight container in a cool, dry place for several months. China exports a significant portion of its buffalo meat to neighbouring countries like Vietnam, as well as its other international markets. In fact, China ranks 3rd in the world for buffalo production, with over 22 million buffaloes contributing to the global meat supply. As demand for healthier meat grows, could buffalo farming offer lessons for the world's future? China is the 3rd largest cattle producer in the world, with nearly 100,000 heads. But this industry is predominantly made of small-scale farmers. Over 90% of Chinese cattle operations process fewer than 10 cattle per year. China is divided into 3 main agricultural regions for cattle farming. The rural cattle farms concentrate in the pastoral regions like Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang in the northeast, and in the southwest. In contrast to the large-scale industrial farms in the US, where specialized feedlots can rear thousands of calves, in rural China, calves are grazed on expansive grasslands like this after weaning at around 6 months of age. This is a familiar sight if you visit rural China, but this country has also seen a rise in large-scale industrial farming. Xinjiang has invested over $280 million to build breeding facilities covering over 650 acres. Farmers here have seen an increase in annual household income of over $6,800. This improvement has seen calf mortality drop by nearly 20%. After the initial calf rearing stage, this is the disease management and fattening stage. In the farming pastoral regions, cattle are frequently dipped to protect them from common diseases, such as parasitic infections. Much of the fattening diet in Xinjiang includes locally grown crops, especially alfalfa, soy, and corn, which have grown over 1,500 acres of dedicated land. By contrast, in the US, cattle are usually fattened in large industrial feedlots, where diets are scientifically managed to optimize weight gain. Despite that, Chinese cattle can reach a market weight of around 1,200 to 1,500 pounds in around 18 months, slightly faster than the 24 months often seen in the US. One of the largest livestock markets in rural China is Muscovy. Most cattle here are sold for slaughtering. The entire slaughtering process is often done in small-scale slaughterhouses. The beef produced here is typically consumed domestically, with families selling meat to local markets. Without modern refrigeration, people often use traditional preservation methods such as drying and smoking. However, companies like Hoye in Jilin and Kirchen in Inner Mongolia now utilize modern processing equipment, enabling the process of over 30,000 cattle per year. After being stunned, the skin is carefully removed by knife. Then, a specialized tool is used to ensure it remains intact for potential use in leather products. The carcass is divided into various cuts, depending on their intended use. Common cuts include meat for consumption, bones for soup or broth, and organs for specific dishes and medicinal purposes. The processed meat is packaged and distributed to markets, restaurants, or processing plants for further value-added products like pure beef burgers. Modernized slaughterhouses are crucial, as beef consumption in China has outpaced domestic production. Since 2013, China has been a net importer of beef, with significant imports from Australia, Brazil, and Uruguay. In 2017, China imported 620,000 tons of beef to fill the gap between production and consumption, which is increasing steadily every year. In 2023, China imported 2.74 million tons of beef, but in the first quarter of 24 alone, this country imported 1 million tons. It is estimated that 1.4 billion quail are farmed annually around the globe. The majority of quail are raised in China, which has over 80% of the market share. In the United States, quail are often raised naturally on grass, but are also provided with small shelters for protection when needed. Female quail begin laying eggs around 60 days of age and can lay continuously throughout the year. However, based on long-standing experience, it is recommended to allow female quail to be 3 months old before breeding and laying eggs. Breeding them at a younger age can rapidly decline the quality of the flock. Each female quail can lay approximately 270 to 300 eggs per year. These guinea fowl roam freely in spacious gardens and feed on a natural diet, resulting in eggs of superior quality. Female guinea fowl begin laying eggs when they reach 6 months of age. They lay in clutches of 12 to 15 eggs. The guinea fowl laying season in the UK is from April to June, often extending into September. Small-scale artisanal producers hand collect over 6,000 eggs a day. That is a staggering 1,260,000 eggs over a 7-month laying season. Egg collection typically occurs once a day, as guinea fowl usually lay after 3 p.m. All eggs are carefully cleaned before being packaged.